Good morning. Last time I spoke last, and now I get first, so I don't know if that's they hate me or love me, but either way, it is great to see you. Today, I'm going to teach you how to create 12 times more impact when you move all of your marketing to in real life experiences. So I got my start at a little company called Red Bull. We spent about $1 billion a year on experiences when I was there. And when you go to this incredible event and you see people jumping out of airplanes, going down mountains on tricycles, DJs playing, people dancing, everyone's having an amazing time, and somebody comes up to you and hands you an ice cold Red Bull, this actually creates an emotional bond that not only changes your perspective of the brand, but also changes your purchase behavior going forward. So we spent about $1 billion a year on this. Clearly it worked, right? Red Bull has by far #1 market share. But it drove me absolutely crazy that we had no data. We had no idea at the time if this was working. We didn't know who was showing up at these experiences, and I wanted to set out to solve that. So I believe the world is in a massive transition right now from a things economy to an experience economy. And we see this in terms of millennials who are spending way more money on experiences than things. We see this in terms of car ownership, which is declining globally. We see this in terms of retail brands that are literally shutting down every single day. But the brands that are thriving are actually transforming themselves into experiential businesses. And we'll look at a few. I also think that the marketing strategies have changed as a result of this. We started in print, then we moved to video because it's moving, it's better, right? And then we moved to digital social because why do you need to see an advertisement for Campbell's soup when you can actually just see your friends that are telling you about these great Campbell's soup recipes? And now we are in the age of branded experiences, because why would you ever want your uncle to tell you about this Campbell's soup recipe when you can actually take this amazing soup cooking class with Chef Boyardee in his kitchen? So what do I mean when I talk about experiences? What I mean is any in real life, we're not talking about VR and AR, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. We're talking about in real life experiences that trigger at least 3 senses. Watching a YouTube video, sorry, not an experience. If it triggers at least 3 senses, it's fair game. So let's take Nike as an example. Nike obviously is an incredible shoe brand, but beyond that, they sell experiences, they sell the way that they make you feel. And so they wanted to embody their brand and engage people in real life. They started the Nike Running Club all over the world. You can do that here in Toronto. You don't have to own a pair of Nike shoes. It's free. You can go run with other people who love Nike and go explore Toronto. They also started turning a lot of their stores into basketball courts. Why? Because it's not enough to show you the shoes. It's not even enough to get them for you to try them on. They want you to play basketball against a Nike employee in a store, because that actually results in a much deeper brand affinity. And why not start the kids young? They started Nike basketball camps for kids, right? Because they want, at a very young age, kids to associate Nike with sports, with movement. Michael's Art Stores does millions of art classes all over the world in their stores. Every brand wants to be at Coachella or Glastonbury, whatever music festival, where people are having a great time. You see VIP tents there, you see activations. Sprite started putting these amazing soda fountains on the beach so you can shower inside of a Sprite machine. Lowe's and Home Depot do tons of DIY woodworking classes. Lululemon spends $300 million a year on free yoga classes. Why? Because they believe that people who take these classes have a higher brand perception, spend more money at Lulu, and actually become a stronger part of the community. Is that true? They have no idea. Sur La Table does cooking classes. Tabasco brings in all of the hot sauce freaks from all over the world to Louisiana to show you where Tabasco is made. Try different kinds of Tabasco that you've never even dreamed about. Think about your favorite winery down the street. It's not about the quality of the wine. It's about the way that they make you feel. It's about the bocce ball that you play with your friends. It's about the tour. It's about the tasting. It's all about the experience. And of course, Red Bull. So at Red Bull, we had this problem where we had no idea if this was working, and we came up with this joke saying, I think that this $1 billion spend is working because people seem to be smiling. And in an age of data and real KPIs, it's kind of bullshit to say that counting smiles suffices. But that's what we did back then. So I'm here to encourage you, stop counting smiles and let's bring the rigor of data and statistics to experiences. The way that this used to work is when you leave some incredible branded experience, there would be a very nice person with a clipboard asking you, what's your name, what's your gender, what's your zip code, did you have a great time, have you been here before, do you think you'll come back, do you think you'll drink more Red Bull tomorrow? But we need to figure out how to go beyond this. So at Red Bull, we really wanted to solve this and had nothing. And I'll show you the data that we had. So the objective, and I'm not making this up, I know it sounds ridiculous, but I'm not making this up. The objective was to engage Pinos. Pinos are people in need of energy. You cannot make this shit up. So the cost of one of these experiences, this is real data, was about $14 million. 80,000 people came and we gave out 60,000 free Red Bulls. And we had no idea anything else. We did get 5 million media impressions, but that's kind of bullshit, right? Just because you see Red Bull in the media does not mean you're actually drinking more Red Bull. But lots and lots of smiles, right? But ultimately, we had no idea what the ROI was. No idea. So first of all, I'm going to tell you how to solve this. But first, we need to throw out all of the vanity metrics. Throw out likes, throw out views, throw out smiles. This is bullshit. So whenever I sit down with CMO, just to make sure we're aligned on this, I ask them one big question. Would you rather have 1,000 of these from anonymous people online or 100 unique engagement moments? Would you rather have 1,000 digital hearts, or would you rather have 100 really unique engagement moments? And surprisingly, some brands still want the digital hearts. That's fine. That's not really our thing. Probably find that on a different stage, right? But what we want to do is encourage companies to think that it's not about the numbers of digital hearts, it's about the quality of that engagement, it's about the way that you make your customers feel. And if you can do that with experiences, with the data and ROI behind it, you can actually totally change the entire course of your business. So we want to use data to optimize experiences in real life the same way that the digital marketers are able to optimize digital ads. And we can actually prove that this works. So if you are the CMO of Nike, you can actually look at in-store basketball kids camps, and the Nike Running Club, compare and contrast and see what's working for which demographics and how much, and see exactly what that ROI is. And you do that by, number one, collecting first-party data. So I told you at Red Bull, we had no idea who was coming to these experiences. We need to collect first-party opt-in data from every single person, okay? We are not just collecting names and emails. That's a good start, but that's not enough. We want to understand demographics, geographics, psychographics, purchase behavior, brand sentiment. We want qualitative and quantitative data, and then we can run AI on all of this to tell us what's working and what's not. Secondly, we're going to turn all of this behavioral data into insights, right? We want to be able to go to the CMO of Nike and tell them, hey, actually, your running club's working really well for women under the age of 30 who live in urban environments, but really actually not working well for middle-aged men. So if you want middle-aged men to buy Nikes, you're going to have to put some of this budget into other tactics that we believe will actually engage these people. People are not one size fits all. We all engage differently with different types of experiences. Then we want NLP, right? Because it's not enough to know what's working, we want to know why. Right? So we get tons of qualitative data. We run AI on all of this, powered by GPT-4. And this actually tells us why certain experiences are working or underperforming. Right? Kind of the same way that we can do with ads right now. We can say, hey, AI shows us that this ad is way too long and this picture is not engaging, and your website, we can A/B test websites, the call to action is below the fold. We are really good at doing this with digital. We are really bad at doing this in real life. Right? But by using natural language processing on every single person who participates in the event, we can actually see what is making these events and experiences so powerful, or what's actually not working, and why are we wasting so much money on these events. So now that we have all this data, this is the fun part, we get to compete against all other forms of marketing. Because guess what? Experiential, people think it's very expensive and it's hard to scale. It works way better. And if you remember the title of this talk, it works about 12 times better, right? So if you have $1 million to spend for your startup or for your business this year on marketing, depending on your goals, you get about 12x return by putting this into experiential. So every day, we see about 14,000 advertisements. And every time you click on an Instagram ad, see a billboard by the side of the road, see a TikTok ad, some random little dance that's actually selling a Snickers bar, whenever you see an advertisement, these are falling flat. These do not change our perspective. These do not change our behavior. This does not fundamentally change who we are. You might sell one additional pair of pants if you give an Instagram discount to somebody, but you're not going to actually change their behavior long term, which is why we need to make a rule here. It's not about conversion, it's about lifetime value. If you want to sell one additional pair of pants, go on Instagram, be my guest. If you want to change it so my entire wardrobe becomes Lululemon, the only way to do that is to get me taking my weekly yoga classes inside of a Lululemon store, building that relationship, bonding with the community. Makeup brands have done this really well. MAC Cosmetics does not want you to buy one piece of lipstick. They want you to have all of your makeup from MAC, and they are building out classes, workshops, makeovers to get you to do that. And it's working very well. If they give you a small discount, you might buy some additional eyeliner, but you're not going to actually change what your entire makeup collection looks like. A lot of brands are doing online classes. This started during COVID. People now are trying to escape from anything Zoom, but to bring in new customers to your business, online classes are extremely cheap to run. They're extremely scalable and kind of a precursor to that offline engagement. And influencers. So it turns out, guess what? Influencer marketing does not work. However, what does work is influencers doing things live. The simple act of a digital post going into something that's live, whether that's on Instagram, Zoom, in real life, actually creates a ton more engagement and mobilizes this influencer's followings like individual TikTok and Instagram posts will never do. So now we've arrived toward the end. Experiential marketing is 12x more powerful to your business than digital marketing. The important thing is to be able to do this at scale. Think like scientists. A/B test experiences the same way we A/B test online ads, and then ultimately get enough data to actually show what's working and show what's not, and will lead this directly into revenue. You can be like Red Bull and put $1 billion a year into this and not measure it, or you can be a better Red Bull by actually creating an entire universe of experiential and actually having the data to prove it. Thank you. I believe experience is everything, and I would love to help you scale your experiences. Thanks.